motive behind the murder in San Bernardino. One thing we know for sure, the attack in California is a terror event. To figure that out, the FBI is. But will this shooting be whitewashed as workplace violence, just like Fort Hood? Here to react, Fox News legal analyst Peter Johnson.
Good morning. Morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone at home. That is the critical question this morning, Steve. Will this be whitewashed? And if it is whitewashed, how does it affect our future as safe Americans in an age of terror, in an increasing age of terror? My concern at this point is that it could be whitewashed quickly. This happened.
We've seen it before.
This happened in a workplace. This happened based on reports. Someone, apparently the assailant, the murderer here, being there and then leaving and coming back after an argument. So on its face, it seems like, well, he got upset. He came back and he avenged some problem that he had or some slight that he had over time.
Right.
The problem that we have with that at this point is that there are cardinal signs and symptoms, cardinal characteristics, cardinal fingerprints of terrorism with regard to what happened here.
Okay.
And is this a typical workplace violence attack, or is this a jihadi Jane and Joe?
See, you just touched on it right there. Workplace violence, usually when somebody pops off, they don't go home and get their wife and she takes part in it.
The site happens to be a workplace, but terror can occur in a workplace. And this is the ultimate soft target. Automatic weapons, GoPros, pipe bombs, booby trapping, the potential for online radicalization. A man who may have been lovelorn going to Saudi Arabia and then bringing back a highly trained pharmacist wife. Is this the beginning of green card jihad in America? These are the questions that we're asking that we don't have answers for this morning. Is this a man who needs a wife and then brings back someone and starts a terrorist cell unbeknownst to his whole career and life as an American in the United States? Or
could it be the other way around? At the top of the hour, we were talking about how there's an international dating website that apparently this guy went on years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and he said, I work for the county, and among my many interests, I like target practice in my backyard with my friends and family. Now, you know, maybe
could he have been targeted?
Exactly.
Yes, and that is a potential question that needs to be asked and answered quickly. The key here for Americans is truth, transparency, and speed. Because if this was a terror attack or a terror-inspired attack or an ISIS-inspired attack, Americans need to know. America's defenses and police officers and FBI and all of these agencies need to understand that. Politically, it's a firebomb for this White House to admit that there was a terror attack or that there was a homegrown ISIS terrorist with another foreign national who committed this. The political implications are disturbing for this president.
Well, I mean, just look at the last 10 days. What have we heard about nonstop over the last week? Global warming, a lot about climate change, things like that, when everybody else was saying, you're in Paris, you should be talking about terror, and he did it.
I don't think there's any question that this should be called terror. What kind of terror it is, we need to find out. And I don't want to come to any hasty conclusions at this point. But if you look at the dots, if you start to connect them in a way that's rational and reasonable and not political, based on simple things we know about terrorism, simple things we know about criminal justice, then it leads ineluctably and inescapably to that one horrible conclusion. Terror. Is it based on politics? Is it based on religion? Is it based on hate? Is it a literal war on Christmas? Are cities of $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 safe in this environment? What do we do to make them safer? What do we do to make Americans feel more secure? Let's get to the bottom of this quickly. Let's not have heat. Let's have light, and let's have transparency. And let's hear from this president today. This is a jittery, America that needs to be either reassured or told the truth, or both, about what occurred in San Bernardino, California yesterday. It's a beautiful town, as is Redlands. I've been there many, many times. It's a sad day, and our condolences to all those who've suffered losses on this day in America. It's a very sad day.
Well put. Peter Johnson, Jr.
Okay.
Peter, thank you. All right, coming up, the New York Daily News slamming Republicans for asking Americans to